Hey, good morning. Welcome, both in the sanctuary and online, to the Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg on the unceded lands of the Tocobaga and Seminole Native Americans. My name is Michael Pohl, and I'm a member of the worship team here at UU St. Pete. I'm excited to bring you today's worship service, The Intimacy of Covenant Groups, with today's worship leader, Reverend Ben Atherton-Zeman.
Thanks, Michael. I'm Reverend Ben. My pronouns are he and they. And if you want a church where trans and non-binary people are welcome, where undocumented immigrants are welcome, but where ICE is not welcome, I have good news. You may have found your church home. It's great to see children here. We love children. We love the energy that children bring to our services. We also love, yes, children who have yellow turtles are especially welcome. Some of us adults are neurodivergent too, and so we have some fidget toys. There are all forms, all different ways to participate in worship service. I hope you find yours.
We have 3 announcements today. First, our wonderful board president, Trish Birch, is having a time with the president in the Gilmore Library, right outside here, following worship service. All are welcome, especially new members.
Now, as most of you know, we're hiring, there she is, our board president. She stood up for a second, it was her. There, Trish. Thank you, Trish. There she is. Now, as most of you know, we are hiring a new music coordinator and pianist. So to do this, we need your help. We need your connections. We need your suggestions. We need your resumes, if you can do those things. Send your ideas as soon as you can to Todd Wellman. Todd, are you here? Todd's email is todd.wellman@uustpete.org. And speaking of music, there are tickets on sale today for the One City Chorus concert next Sunday at 4 p.m. Those tickets, you can pay cash for them, you can pay cards, and they will be available during coffee hour. The what? All Beatles concert. It's an all Beatles concert.
Exciting. Please read the rest of your announcements in the order of service in our weekly newsletter and on the TV in Gilmore during coffee hour.
Now, as Unitarian Universalists, there's some of you who I don't recognize, I'm going to let you know that we are a people of diverse beliefs, but we do share a common faith that every being is worthy of love, that what we do in this world matters, and that we're connected to one another and to the earth. So whoever you are and wherever you are in your journey, you are welcome here.
Allow me to give a special welcome to any newcomers. If you are new to UU St. Pete or even relatively new, could you give a wave? Say hi. Oh man, a lot of people. Thank you.
Wait.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Usually this is the time where we invite folks to briefly introduce themselves, but we have a lot to get to today, so we will work that in next week. So hope to see you again then.
Now is the time for any children to proceed to their religious education classes. The rest of us, we can turn to our neighbor and greet them. If you see someone you don't know, say hello to them. And remember to ask for permission if you want to hug them or shake their hand. Please rise as you're willing and able for our first hymn. It's number 145 in the gray hymnal, As Tranquil Streams. Number 145, gray hymnal.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Please rise as you're willing and able.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Please
John.
rise if you are willing and able to sing hymn number 145, As Tranquil Streams. See how tranquil it got in here? Good. As tranquil streams that meet and merge and flow as one to seek the sea, our kindred hearts and minds unite to build a church that shall be free, free from the bonds that build and bind and narrow thought and lifeless greed, free from a social code that fails to serve the cause of human need, a freedom that reveres the past but trusts the dawning future more, and builds the soul in search of truth, adventure boldly and explore. Prophetic church, the future waits your liberating ministry. Go forward in the power of love, proclaim the truth that makes us free.
Please remain standing for our chalice lighting. If Barbara Archibald, there you are. Barbara has been kind enough to light our chalice, and when she does that, I invite you to say our covenant out loud. It can be found in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. You may be seated.
We now come to the time in our worship service for joys, sorrows, and concerns. Those of you on YouTube Live are not in this room, but your presence is still felt. Please type your joys and sorrows into the text chat. If you have a joy, sorrow, or concern to submit during the week, please write to Reverend Ben at minister@uustpete.org.
Virginia Fox is going to put a stone in the water for each one that was submitted this week. There's still a few seconds left to finish your card and bring it up to Michael or myself.
So first, a stone of concern from Cindy Burns. Her brother David, who is visiting her right now, has stage 4 cancer. Cindy is hoping that our congregation will send caring thoughts and prayers for him.
We will, Cindy. A stone of sorrow from Cheryl McNeil. She was evacuated twice from South Pasadena during the hurricanes and was never able to return to her home. So if you've been wondering where Cheryl was, as I have, she's in Illinois, where her sister and brother-in-law live in senior housing, and she will be staying there for good. Yes. This has been very traumatic for Cheryl. She had to start over with everything, and she is watching our worship service on YouTube Live. We love you, Cheryl. We remember you. We love you.
A stone of joy and concern from Karen Cole. Dave's surgery was successful. 2/3 of his shunt system was replaced, and Dave is slowly regaining his strength. But Dave's recovery has been challenging. Karen says the outpouring from UU St. Pete has been amazing and so comforting, so very comforting. They feel very fortunate.
A stone of joy from Joanne Kellner. Congratulations to Joanne's friend Jessica on the birth of her second child. That's all I have.
I have a stone of concern from Mike Fitzgerald, who is looking for an apartment for April 1st of this year. He was displaced by the storms.
Where are you, Mike? There he is. There's Michael.
I also have a stone of sorrow and concern from Paul Showalter that our Florida legislature is advancing a bill to impose a mandatory death sentence for undocumented defendants convicted of capital crimes, including non-homicides.
Yep.
Life over death.
Yeah. Let's take a couple of deep breaths together. And a second breath in.
And we will place the final stone for those joys and concerns that remain in our hearts, perhaps too tender to be spoken out loud.
Yep.
It's time for our responsive reading. The words can be found in your order of service. May our hearts not become calloused by the never-ending incidences of oppression and hatred that so many face each day.
Rather, may we keep our hearts open
to the positive efforts of so many people causing good trouble in the world.
May we have the strength to demand and gain the right for all people to have a safe place to sleep, health care to keep them strong, and the knowledge that their lives matter.
The struggle is taking longer than it should, but we will get there if we continue to strive for basic human rights.
May all of us find a comforting and compassionate presence in the warmth of fellowship and community. Because the mystery is that we're connected even when we feel apart. So let's rejoice in this beloved community that makes of the many one. And let's take about a minute of silence together. Each week we thank an individual or a team that has done something in support of this congregation's mission. This week I want it to be the Pledge campaign team with Pat Fling at their head. Woo-woo indeed. Thank you for your work, Pledge team. You've been hearing several views from the pew over the last few weeks, and today's view from the pew from the Pledge team is by Kathy Lee.
I'm here because Pat asked me to share why being a member of UU St. Petersburg is an integral part of my identity and how important it is to me to make the commitment to support UU St. Pete. I grew up in a fairly safe community with a relatively solid family. As a college student at the University of Connecticut, I took women's studies courses and read works by radical lesbian feminists, attended rallies for sustainable environmental practices, protests for nuclear disarmament, anti-nuclear energy concerts, anti-militarism actions, and so many women's music festivals, where I learned how to stand up against violence against women and the intersectionality of systemically oppressive institutions. Remember the isms? Connections between sexism, racism, poverty, sexual violence, homophobia, ableism, and environmental destruction. Like so many other UUs, I could no longer abide the social politics of the religion of my youth, nor justify what I believed to be their narrow-minded dogma. I discovered a tiny UU fellowship near Yukon and immediately knew I'd found my church home. I always found an anchor in the local UU congregations. My home away from home, the UU Meeting House in Provincetown, First Church in Portland, and University Unitarian Church in Seattle. When I returned to Connecticut to be with my family, I joined UU Society East, where I was a member for over 20 years. Planning to take the leap to move to Florida on my own, I was confident I'd find a local UU congregation for my spiritual home and surrogate family. Wherever I am, I know I can connect at a very deep level and share intimately with other UUs. We are so different, have so many varied life experiences and theological and spiritual beliefs. However, we always share a solid core value system. I know that I'll always find my tribe. We share values of actively promoting social justice, equity and inclusion, acceptance, and even encouragement of individual reason and spiritual beliefs. I've loved every minute here at UU St. Pete. When thinking about how I need to support UU St. Pete, I understand the critical influence it's had on my life. I find community, support, spiritual sustenance, learning opportunities, social activities, good food, avenues for contributing to my community, intergenerational friends, and ways to care for those in need. We all give at different levels, but my UU congregation here has enhanced my life, so I give of not only my financial resources, but of myself to help UU St. Pete grow and thrive.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Dayna Foster. I am one of your board members, and I'm also a covenant group facilitator. The idea for today's service came out of a discussion at a board meeting a couple of months ago about the need for and the value of covenant groups at UU St. Pete. It's been really instrumental in my becoming a part of this family. So with that in mind, we have something we'd like to share, a reading, and then we'll proceed with some views from the pew, from some members of covenant groups, and have some breakout groups.
Thanks, Dayna. And now this reading is entitled, What is Small Group Ministry? And it's an excerpt from a piece called Part of Sharing the Journey, Small Group Ministry with Youth. And that can be found at the website of the Unitarian Universalist Association. And this is the reading.
Small group ministry is intentional, lay-led small groups that deepen and expand the ministry of a congregation. Two key focuses are intimacy, or building community and deepening relationships, and ultimacy, or the opportunity for deeper spiritual exploration and search for meaning. Small group ministry is also called covenant group ministry because the members in a group make an intentional commitment to one another.
Peter Bowden, co-founder of the Unitarian Universalist Small Group Ministry Network, defines small group ministry as a way of doing church, which strives to deepen and expand the ministry of a congregation using an intentional system of lay-led small groups. He says,
Bowden says, at the heart of healthy congregations and life and world-changing ministries, we find 1, strong relationships, 2, engagement with meaningful issues, 3, leadership and leadership development, and 4, inspired action. Small group ministry contains all 4 of these elements.
We can ask, what makes a small group a ministry group? The answer lies in the name itself. Small means a group with a maximum of 8 to 10 people. Groups of this size provide an ideal opportunity to relate on an intentional level.
covenant groups are a form of small group ministry. In a few minutes, we will hear from several people about their covenant groups. And then after the anthem, we will break into some smaller groups for further discussion.
First, we will hear from our choir.
choir. Thank you. I tell you my personal experience of a covenant group is having somebody to lean on. We're going to hear from 3 people who are members of covenant groups here at UU St. Pete. They're going to tell you briefly a little about their experience with covenant group. And for those of you who don't currently belong to a covenant group, maybe give you something to think about, perhaps joining one.
Good morning. I'm Susan Gore, and I discovered Gulfport, where I live, South St. Pete, in 2015, January of 2015. I left Texas, where I had lived for 25 years, that July, and moved here, not knowing anyone, really. But I knew where to find my peeps because I had been a UU since 1990 in Dallas, Texas. And when I came here, I was right, my peeps were here. And I loved the services, this service, others, they're just really uplifting. Coffee hour, nice to say hi and catch up with folks. And I wanted a deeper spiritual experience than simply showing up for an hour on Sunday. And I did not want to be on a board, I did not, so my solution was to join a covenant group. And when I came in this morning, I sat down with a friend who said, I've never really understood what covenant groups are. And I said, here it is. Look in your order of service. There's the whole explanation and all the groups that currently exist. Why a covenant group? For me, it's about a chance to get to know people at a deeper level, to open myself in terms of things that I'm experiencing, both the joys, the sorrows, the concerns, the crazinesses, and to have other people quietly take that in, reflect on it, and share their own connection and what's going on with them. I've met a group of people that I have lunch with, I call up just to touch base with. I spend an evening a month enjoying good food and good fellowship with. And for me, that adds immensely to the experience of coming to a larger group on Sundays and seeing folks who I enjoy and am always pleased to say hi to, but who probably don't know me as well, because this is the place where we come together to celebrate together outside. For me, covenant group goes inside, and that means all the difference to me. I hope you'll give it a try if you're not a member of a covenant group. Give it 6 months. It's not something you just jump into and it's instant fellowship. It's a growth process. And I hope you'll take care and take part of it.
Good morning. I'm Ellen Hayes, and I'm here representing the Snowbird Covenant Group, which is a little different than the other UUSP covenant groups. We meet every single Wednesday in season. We call it the season. It usually begins in the fall when we achieve critical mass here in St. Pete, and ends sometime in the spring when our members depart for usually cooler northern climates. We meet weekly since our season feels so short to begin with, and we've really come to depend on one another. For many of us, the Covenant Group has been our first opportunity to find a community of friends in our brand new Florida home. For others, it's provided a consistent chance to check in every week with a group of like-minded friends. Over the years, I've come to appreciate that this group of friends knows pretty much everything about me. And I know a whole lot about all of them. To be seen and known and appreciated by others, for me at least, is one of life's greatest blessings. I hope you'll consider any of you who are snowbirds joining us. I've loved the whole small group ministry here in St. Petersburg. Thank you.
Hi, I'm John Motter, he, him pronouns, and I've been fortunate to be a member of several covenant groups. I gotta give credit to Linda, Paul, and Pete Elam for the one I was with before forming our own, and we actually split off because it got to be too big of a group. But I'm lucky to be part of a group that's both racially, I shouldn't say both, it's racially, age, gender, sexual orientation, diverse. It's about probably, I would guess, maybe one of the most diverse covenant groups here at the church, because we've got a little bit of everything. And what's really nice about that is that you hear different perspectives and challenging perspectives. We actually meet twice a month. This came out of COVID when we found that we weren't getting enough support. And so we would meet one Monday a month to actually do the discussion, like the guided discussion on the topic. But then the other time was just for dinner out. And we had simple rule, it had to be at a restaurant where you could sit outside, where you could order at the counter, and where it was fairly affordable. And that was a way for us to just check in during that COVID time on how are we doing? Was everybody getting their needs met? And we just kept that going because it's worked out so well. And I will say, in that informal setting, it's really a chance to just get to know your fellow church members. You know, through this time we've handled moves, loss of four-legged family members, new four-legged family members. Any problem, I feel comfortable in that group, in my covenant group, to talk to them about anything. And I hope they feel that same way to you, with me. I will give a shout out to Bianca, because if people remember the one service where they talked about where she had the "I got you," they've got me. I know they will always have me, and that's really comforting to know. The second time we meet, it really is a guided discussion, and it follows, we use the Soul Matters outline. There's a small group discussion, so what we talk about each month follows generally what they're talking about from the pulpit each month. And I grabbed the wrong phone. I grabbed my mom's phone instead of my phone, so I don't have my little notes. But we really go through 2 rounds of sharing, and one is to, there's a number of questions that you answer based on not only do I have my mom's phone, but I'm trying to use my password. You pick a question that kind of speaks to you and you share on that, and then the second time around, we pick a favorite quote and share on that and what that means. And it really allows us to kind of feel what people are getting. So to give you an idea, September's, and thank God she doesn't get rid of her email. So September, the topic was invitation. And so some of the things you could talk about was, has parenting invited you to be more courageous? And you really have an in-depth discussion on that. Or have you grown more from what you've invited into your life, or what you've disinvited into your life? And so they really are topics that are meant to make people think and to make people go deeper and to help you grow more spiritually. And so it's just been a great thing to be a part of. It sometimes gets a little bit weird. I'm in it with my mom. I used to be in it with my brother, so you would have this family member dynamic that was probably wonderful for the other people to watch. But even that has brought us closer together as a family. So it's just been a win-win situation all the way around. So thank you.
Thank you, John. Thanks, all 3 of you. Dayna and John are 2 of the Covenant Group leaders, and if you haven't figured this out, we are actually going to split up into small groups today. So those of you who waved and are new, we don't usually do this. We usually stay in here, and Dayna's going to describe how we're going to do that.
So if you currently belong to a covenant group, you're welcome to accompany the covenant group facilitator. We've got 5. Barbara Archibald. Where are you, Barbara? If you are not a member of a covenant group, you're going to go with Barbara if your insert is gold. So Barbara Gold, you're going to be going to the library. If you have a yellow insert, you'll stay here in the sanctuary. John is going to be with the people with the yellow inserts over here.
Yellow is different than gold.
Okay. The narthex will be Ellen Hayes. Ellen, where are you, Ellen?
That's the narthex.
So Ellen, and the blue inserts will go to the narthex. Also, as I said, if you are in a covenant group, you're welcome to go with that leader. I will be with Green in Gilmore, just on the other side of the accordion doors. And Paula Sullins. Paula, where's Paula?
Paula, where are you? Paula Sullins?
Okay.
Is anyone else an experienced group? Michael's
Okay,
going to
Michael.
lead. Go ahead.
Michael will go in the kitchen. If your insert is white, you'll go with Michael. So we got that. John yellow in the sanctuary, Ellen blue in the narthex, Gilmore green, me, and Barbara gold in the library, and Michael white in the kitchen. And we'll come back together.
We'll come back. I will ring the church bell to bring us back. Those of you who have mobility challenges, feel free to stay here with, I believe it's John. See you. We'll be about 10 minutes in those rooms. 10 minutes. Come back at 20 after. If you need help figuring which small group you're in, please ask somebody who looks like they know what they're doing. If you're having other conversations, please have them not in the sanctuary. What? Okay, I don't know, sorry. All right, those of you who are left, you are with John. We'll just use a microphone. Yeah, if you don't know which group to go in, congratulations, you're in John's small group. Have a seat. Shh, we'll ask you to be quiet. And here's John.
So we've got a really big covenant group to do. That terrifies me to have this many. How long do we have? 10 minutes. First, does anybody have questions about covenant group just before we kind of break in and have a little discussion? Very good. How many are in a covenant group? 1, 2. So that still counts. Yes, that still counts. So what I thought we would do is we need a topic to discuss, because what we'll split is really just to actually what we'll do. I don't have the. Why don't we split into smaller groups? And what we do initially every time we meet is to just do a check-in on how people are feeling. And with 10 minutes, that's probably about all we have time for. So with what's going on since the election and the politics, and if you choose to read the news or listen to the news, just kind of as a group, check in with each other on how you're feeling, maybe what your concerns are, or even better, what you're optimistic about, or something that you can look forward to. as a way just to start to share. Really for our covenant group is, it's really sharing about what's going on in your life, and usually at a much deeper level. Earl, do you have anything, you're in our group, anything else to add from what we do in our group? It's really just as a way to grow and get to know each other more. Okay. No, it was just the way the number of leaders that we had, of people that lead covenant groups, it was a way to split the congregation up so that we could have small enough groups for discussion, for like a short 10-minute discussion, which we're now probably down to about 6 minutes. So why don't we do, I was going to say, or these 2 rows, that way people don't have to move again. So these 2 rows, and these 2 rows. So kind of grab a couple people from over and just kind of introduce yourselves to each other. I'm guessing a lot of people don't know everybody that's sitting around you, and then kind of how you are feeling. Maybe a little bit louder. We're the second Monday covenant group. Let's see. It's fine. Good. Our newest member.
Welcome back. Yeah, good. Welcome back. Come on in. Welcome back. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How can anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Don't let anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful. Don't let anyone ever tell you you were less than whole. Don't let anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle. How deeply you're connected to my soul. As folks are sitting down, I'd love to hear from one or two people. How were your small groups? Good? A nod? What, Michael? They were good. Wait.
Very informative. Lots of people had experience to share about being in one, and a lot of questions were answered.
Okay, great. Other people, how was your small group?
Hi, we met at the dinner and discussion group is a covenant group. It meets usually on the third Sunday night of the month. I think there was some confusion over whether or not we were actually a covenant group. And we met, and we're going to be meeting the fourth Sunday this month. And anybody can come. We're like in the process of forming, and we're really for people who like maybe work or who are not able to meet during the week. We all work, and so it's a covenant group, but we meet at a rest. So if you're interested, contact me.
Thank you, Chris. I'm sorry that yours was inadvertently left out. One more comment. How are the small groups?
What I heard was that a covenant group is an opportunity to hear differing perspectives that will help you grow as a person.
Great, thank you. Michael, I think you're next. Or is it me? Michael? Or is it you or me?
Now it's time for our offering. We eat fruit from trees planted long before we were born. May we plant seeds that bear fruit long after we're gone. In the sanctuary, the offering will now be given and received.
with love we receive with great joy. Thank you. When we are taught to fear and distrust one another, connecting becomes a radical act. These past few weeks, many of you have come to me with heavy hearts. You feel discouraged. You feel overwhelmed. You feel despair even. You want to do something. And many of you have. You volunteer at the Friday Sunset Supper. You attend rallies and vigils. You strengthen your connections in your own neighborhoods. But many of you are unsure what to do. I want to do something, I don't know what. And I'm seeing some nods. Can anyone relate to this? I want to do something. I don't know what. It's almost like we need career counselors, but for social change. They assess our strengths and, okay, you should be making art, you should be organizing rallies, you should be doing street theater. And we don't all have to do the same thing. In fact, it's better if we don't do the same thing, right? But we can do our different things while connected. If you cannot sing like angels, right? If you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Those we renew. That's one of our hymns. And we shouldn't all do the same things. Our reading from the UUA tells us, I think, very handy 4 aspects of healthy congregations. 1 was strong relationships. 2 was engagement with meaningful issues. 3 was leadership and leadership development, and 4 was inspired action. So we don't just do a thing, we do all 4 of these things at once. We do our action in this context of connection, of leadership development. Covenant groups help us do all 4, and honestly, it was one of the things that sold me on UU St. Pete 4 years ago when I was looking for jobs. I saw UU St. Pete, and one of the things that drew me here was that the majority of you were in covenant groups. Now, this was as we were still in COVID. So these covenant groups met during COVID. What was number 1? Strong relationships. You all had strong enough relationships that you stuck together during COVID. These strong relationships have continued as we've added more and more members to our community. And yes, we've had conflicts too. All strong relationships have conflicts, but we have also developed the ability and the capacity to resolve the conflicts. And since I'm guessing the conflicts will continue, we need to keep exercising that muscle. We need to improve our capacity to rather than running from conflict or any other way, to handle the conflict relationally. Since we all are precious to one another, we owe that to one another, to improve our conflict resolution skills as a community. So 4 of you here are on the Community Covenant Task Force, and thank you so much to you, to the board, and to so many others helping guide us in this process of developing these muscles, exercising these muscles of conflict resolution. Some of you do not pray, but I do, and I know some of you do. I pray that Mother Goddess, Father God, Spirit of Life, I pray that you who go by so many names and sometimes no name at all, I pray that you grant us the spirit of curiosity during times of conflict. We don't have a creed here at UU St. Pete. So when someone enters the door who is a Muslim, we say, tell me more about your belief in Allah and Muhammad as his prophet. Someone enters who is Christian, we say, tell me about your belief in Jesus Christ. If you're an atheist, tell me more about your belief in science. Kathy Lee talked about this a bit during her View from the Pew. Wherever she went, she knew she could find like-minded people who embrace difference with curiosity rather than with hostility. So let's do this when it comes to our conflicts. If I feel hurt by one of you, undermined, insulted, offended, give me the curiosity to say, why did you call me a poopy head? I love you and I trust you. There must be some good reason you called me a poopy head. What is it? The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. That's even more true here at UU St. Pete. We are bonded to one another. We have agreed that we are bonded to one another. We really are caught. And interdependence and love are two of our core values as Unitarian Universalists. I'm afraid that in the days to come, we will need them more than ever. We will need each other more than ever. We will need covenant groups more than ever. Strong relationships, engagement with meaningful issues, leadership development, inspired action. Because when we're being taught to fear and distrust one another, connecting becomes a radical act. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be. I invite you to rise as you're willing and able for our closing hymn. It's number 323 in the gray hymnal. Break not the circle.
Break not the circle of enabling love, where people grow forgiven and forgiving. Break not the circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come wonder at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no store of wrong and guilt, but will that human bonds remain unbroken. Join then the movement of the love that frees, till people of whatever race or nation will truly be themselves, stand on their feet, see eye to eye with laughter and elation.
You may be seated.
Before the closing words, I wanted to talk briefly about how, what the next steps are here, how you can join a covenant group, because that was a common question in the groups. So 3 things. Number 1, if you see the information in your order of service about a covenant group that you would like to join, please reach out directly to the leader of that group, as noted in that insert. Number 2, if there is not room in that group or the times don't fit your schedule, please reach out to Reverend Ben, either in person or at minister@uustpete.org. And then finally, if you yourself are interested in leading a covenant group, please also reach out to Reverend Ben. That would be amazing. So thank you. And now our closing words are from Reverend Amy Zucker Morgenstern. May all our hours together be as blessed as this one has been, by open-hearted sharing, learning from one another, and making beautiful harmonies together. And may we greet everyone we encounter with the same acceptance and grateful kinship until we meet again. Now, please remain seated. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Ben's.
That's okay.
part.
But thank you, Michael. It does say Beethoven in your order of service, but we have a special guest today that John is going to introduce for our postlude.
Yes, we do. We have a dear friend of James and I who was a pioneer of gay music before there was such a thing. Starting in the not to date age you, Tom, but 1970s, right? He started writing music with gay themes, and he was the first. And he wrote a long musical called The 10% Review, which I came out of the closet at age 37 back in 1982 or so. Oh wait, am I telling them how old I am? I'm dating myself. There's that expression again. And I got cast in this gay musical and got to tour with Tom, and we've become lifelong friends. Tom Wilson Weinberg is here with us.
Thank you, John, for your nice introduction. I'm actually not singing a song of my own today, but something else that I've had on my mind. Emma Lazarus is best remembered for a poem inspired by the Statue of Liberty. Born in 1849, Lazarus died in 1887. In 1903, her words were etched on the pedestal of the statue. In 1949, 100 years after Emma Lazarus was born, the last lines were set to music by Irving Berlin. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempest tossed, to me. I lift my lamp behind the golden door. Emma Lazarus aided refugees to New York who had fled anti-Semitic pogroms in Eastern Europe. Her empathy for refugees drew her to the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door.
Thank you so much. I'm going to ask Barbara to extinguish our chalice. I'm sorry, Barbara, I didn't ask you that ahead of time. We invite you to follow along with the hand gestures: light of truth, head; warmth of love, heart; fire of courage, fingers. As Barbara extinguishes our chalice, the words to our traditional chalice extinguishing are in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of courage. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world.
Our worship is over, but our service begins. Please join us for coffee hour in Gilmore. If you see someone not talking to anyone, maybe talk to them instead of the person you usually talk to. And everyone's welcome to the Time with the President. That's going to be in the library right over there. We have so much appreciation for our president, and I don't know where the sign of that was. Oh. Some of us got you, that was just how we rehearsed it. Some of us got you some flowers as our Valentine's present for you. Please give it up for our president. Spend some time with her in the library. She's going to be doing this Time with the President every month, and this is the first time we're doing it. Yes? Birthday's the day after Valentine's Day. Happy birthday. Now, for the rest of you friends, we hope that this time together will help you through your week and will help you remember you are not alone. Blessings.